Well, the dudes want to take a little bit of time today to talk about EUDR, the European Union deforestation regulations set to come into effect at the end of the calendar year, December 30th, 2024, really impacting next year, and kind of what we're seeing for trade across the European Union. And so, well, it affects seven different commodities, including palm oil. I'm going to really kind of focus on what that means for soybean trade. So it does impact lumber, rubber, palm oil, like I said, and a handful of other things, cattle, dairy, I believe. But soybeans are one of the biggest ones. And so one of the things is that it was voted into law in 2022 by the EU, and basically put into effect, or whatever it is. When the EU votes on a law, they kind of say, okay, as of last June, they gave the target date of December 30th and said this is when it kicks into effect. Wouldn't you know it, though, everyone that kind of was anti this whole entire thing. So basically, what it is they're just, the EU is saying that you, the buyer, or the trader, needs to be able to guarantee that the grain, the product source, I say the grain, the soybeans, but the product source did not contribute to any sort of deforestation over the last 10 years. If you're doing any sort of business with like Dreyfus into Claypool, I've had some where we've been filling out for this crop year the certification, and they're offering a premium. I've heard ADM's doing something similar. But basically, it's going to impact the amount of bushels, the amount of tons that can work their way out of Brazil into the European Union. It's going to impact meal, because meal is one of those things that they're going to have to work through to certify. And so, you're really starting to see where a huge spread has come into play. I think it's like $50 a ton right now after the first of the year of increased cost for soybean meal, in order to guarantee these sort of deforestation free beans are sourced. And so we have seen some EU countries and even Brazil. Brazil's like, this isn't going to work. This is going to impact 30% of our total exports because we cannot, provide this certification. You've started to see some EU member states, Germany's one of them, where they're calling on, this sort of rollback. According to an expert at a conference, I read an article this morning. According to an expert there, and I'm going to do a little bit more digging on that, if the EU's passed it, in order to get the implementation delayed or change the ruling itself, you'll have to get all 27 member states to agree, which is something that's pretty unlikely to happen in the next 3 months. And so I don't know what it means overall. I think it could be pretty bullish for U.S. exports potentially going forward, simply because we can sign those certifications and say that we were not involved in any sort of deforestation. If it gets rolled back, obviously, then it's a non-issue. If it gets implemented, then it could be a big issue. And so I'll keep you posted over the next few months here. But if you want to take a look into Google, just go ahead and Google EUDR regulations, and you'll be able to take a look at all kinds of eye-opening changes that could be impacting a grain flow near you in the year ahead.